Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you're well. Today I have a very interesting lesson for you. We're going to use some critical thinking and look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So I have this drawing here. I'm a bit of an artist in my spare time. So I have a nice triangle here for you. So at the bottom, number one, we have physiological needs. Then we have safety needs. Thirdly, love and belonging. Fourthly, esteem. Fifthly, we have self-actualization with a nice smiley face here. So that person has made it to the top of the triangle. So today we're going to go into this into a lot of depth, and I'm going to discuss each stage, what it means. I'm going to use a lot of interesting vocabulary, and you're going to learn a lot in today's lesson. I think this is a really interesting exercise to use as part of critical thinking. When it comes to learning English, so yes, you learn your basic vocabulary, your grammar, then we start to think about fluency. And fluency is being able to speak coherently, so being able to connect ideas together. Now, you may go off tangent. An informal word is to ramble. Rambling is fantastic. You want to practice rambling. You want to use the word because to try to extend your answers as much as possible. And see it like a game. See it like, how can I connect these words together? So talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs is something that I use in my lessons personally to help my students. So I'm not just a content creator on YouTube. I do actually teach students. I've taught thousands of students from all around the world. I've helped them to gain better jobs, to pass important exams, to be able to travel, to start businesses, being able to speak to native speakers and understand native speakers, because my aim is to make you feel powerful when it comes to learning English. I don't just want you to feel like I'm going to get by or scrape by. I want you to be able to use English to build your self-esteem. So I think English is fantastic. I think learning English is a brilliant thing to do. So I congratulate you for keeping up with English, and I hope my videos have really helped you. I've created a fantastic free ebook for you. You'll find a link to download it in my description below. And also think about becoming a member of this channel. It really means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it because it helps this channel to grow. We have Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This picture is a bit more pretty, a bit more colorful for you. So we're going to start from the physiological needs. Now, notice how I pronounce this word, physiological. And we can also think of our ordinal numbers. So we have firstly. So firstly, we have our physiological needs. But what does that mean? Well, we have air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, and reproduction. So there are quite a few needs there. So firstly, what is the point of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Well, it talks about how in humanity we have certain needs that need to be met in order for us to live a good life, in order for us to function. And as those needs are met, we move on to the next level of needs. Now, there is a theory within this that the needs can run concurrently, so they can run at the same time. So they can go from the bottom to the top and from the top to the bottom at the same time. But looking at this first, I think it's a really good way to improve your English and start to use some critical thinking. So if the first way to fulfill your needs is food. So as a human, we need to have food. But does it matter what type of food we have? I think so. I think it's really important. I think the quality of food that we are consuming is incredibly important, because you could give someone a lot of junk food, a lot of snacks, sugary foods, but then it can lead to health problems. It can lead to things like diabetes. So the quality of food is really important, not just having food. Then we need water. Similarly, we need to have healthy, clean water. So if you're supplying someone with water that's contaminated and dirty, that person will get sick. So it's in conjunction. So we need healthy food and we need clean water. Then shelter. So this can be subjective. So what does shelter mean to you? Is it just to have a roof over your head? Do you need to have other things within the shelter? So if you live in a house, if we think about the mod cons that people have. So, and then for some people, this can also be a necessity. So, for example, a bathroom. Or is it an accommodation where the bathroom is shared with other people? In this case, you have less privacy. So normally you'd have a bathroom, you'd have a kitchen. So with shelter, is it important to have a kitchen? On one hand, yes, it is, because you can have more autonomy, you can have more independence to cook healthy food for yourself. Whereas if you don't have access to a kitchen, it's a lot more difficult. I think you could have a shared kitchen with others, and this could also be good because you have to learn communication skills, you have to clean up after yourself. But on the other hand, it takes away from your freedom and feeling like this is your own place. So in the basic needs, it's just shelter, just to have somewhere to sleep that is warm. I think that's really important, because some accommodation is not really in a good shape. There may be mold, which is like damp spots, and this happens when there's very poor ventilation. So condensation will build up inside the room, and you'll see black spots on the wall, and breathing this in can be very harmful for your lungs. So it's important to think about the type of accommodation. Then we have sleep. Yeah, I think sleep is really important, because if you are homeless and living on the streets, firstly, you don't have a roof over your head, so you're exposed to the natural elements. It's easy to get sick, and you are vulnerable to things like violence, and you're exposed to more things. So you're not going to get good sleep. So having shelter and sleep, they go hand in hand. So having sleep, I think, is very important, the quality of sleep. Then you have to think about the mattress that you are sleeping on, and not just the mattress, but the pillow. It may sound small, but I found using a memory foam pillow has been amazing. It's just improved my quality of sleep, to the extent that if I visit friends or family, or if I go on a short holiday, I want to take my pillow with me. So I've become very attached to my memory foam pillow. Then we have clothing. So clothing is very important. The type of clothing is very important, because it needs to be appropriate for the weather conditions. If you are in winter, you need to have appropriate warm clothing, even things like thermals. Thermals are also amazing. I like to wear thermals under my clothes during winter to keep me nice and toasty, nice and warm. Even inside the house, wearing thermals, you can save money because you don't have to have the heating on as much. So clothing, you have to think about, yes, is it functional? But as it stops becoming functional, you want to be able to express yourself with clothing. And this is why I think when you look at these levels, it's important to take them with a pinch of salt. So when you take something with a pinch of salt, you don't take it too seriously, because this need of clothing, I think if you are a creative person, you will look at clothes in a different way. It's a way to express yourself, maybe to break free from conformity where everyone is wearing the same things. For example, in a business environment, people wear suits and ties. Even at school, high school, children wear blazers and ties, and it's almost like it's conditioning students and children to enter the workplace because this is what is expected from them. Because when you wear a blazer and a tie, you look more presentable, more professional. But should that be the case? So something to think. Reproduction, I think that's a necessity for humanity. We need to reproduce. So those are the basic needs. And when you're thinking about having children, you need to have those things in place in order to provide for the children. So you need to have shelter, you need to have good food, clean water, in order to provide for the children when you're thinking about reproduction. Then we have safety needs. Now, safety needs, let me have a look here. So we have personal security, employment, resources, health, and property. So personal security is very important. You want that need to be met because once you have personal security, you can feel more relaxed and you can focus your energy on something else. If you live in an environment where you're constantly on the lookout for danger, if you're looking over your shoulder, the environment is very unpredictable, so you cannot focus on other things. Employment, so having a job. Now, why is having a job important? That's an interesting question. There are many factors. If you notice, that is an introduction which I teach my students, which has been very helpful for them. Using this introduction can save you time. It can buy you time. Now, you can't actually buy time. You can't go into a supermarket and say, I would like an extra 10 minutes, please. But saying this, that's an interesting question. There are many factors. It gives you more time to think about your answer. So if we go back to it, so employment, a job is good because it gives you independence. You can start to save money. You can buy better quality of food. You can move to an area where maybe there's less crime or more opportunities. Then resources. So this seems like it's quite open-ended. So resources, what kind of resources? Well, if we think about safety needs, resources here could be things that you can spend money on. So you can spend money on a safer car. You can spend it on education. You have more resources, so you have more money to spend on better quality of products that can improve your life. health. So health, it's interesting that health doesn't come first, but I guess you need to focus on having food, having water, having clean air to breathe. So your health, once you start focusing on your health, you need to be able to walk and be mobile to get to your job. So, and if you have health problems or health conditions, that can hinder you when it comes to working. So having good health means that you can actually take advantage of the opportunities that you have. And there's a saying that health is wealth. You can have all of the money in the world, but if you don't have good health, then you are unable to take advantage of those opportunities. Property. So how is property different from shelter? That's an interesting concept, because shelter would just be the immediate need to have a roof over your head. Then property would be something which is more well equipped. So you've met that basic need. Now we're thinking about having better heating, better quality of property. Now, thirdly, we move into love and belonging. I'm just going to take another swig of water. So we have friendship, intimacy, family, a sense of connection. So once we've had our physiological needs met, then our safety needs, and then love and belonging. So friendships. Why are friendships so important? Well, I think that it makes your level of stress decrease when you're able to have connections with friends, because you understand that you are in this journey of life together. It gives you a sense of perspective. Intimacy, being close to someone, so having a partner or a long-term partner. This way you can have a greater sense of intimacy and a sense of connection. So I think that these levels are so interesting, because a lot of them go together. Because what use is having food and shelter if you don't have a sense of connection with life and living? So you can start to get quite despondent or depressed. So your mental health could suffer. So having a sense of connection is really important. Then we go up to esteem. So we have respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, freedom. So quite a few number of words here. So respect and self-esteem. So when you feel proud of yourself for achieving things, your sense of confidence increases. So you believe that you can achieve things. Now, it's difficult in some cases because you may have everything stacked up against you due to bias. There's something called implicit bias. So due to the color of your skin, your accent, where you are born, there may be certain biases against you. And having strong and good self-esteem means that you feel confident in yourself. And when you feel confident, you're able to face rejection, because it's very difficult to carry on after rejection, as I can relate to learning a language. With a lot of my students, sometimes their self-esteem can be quite low, but through my lessons with helping them improve their English, I can see their confidence grow and improve with each lesson. So if you have that belief that, yes, I can do something, that can take you far, because you can push yourself even when you have a failure. Status. This is interesting because If you believe too much in your status, this could inflate your ego, and you could act in a way which is immoral or not really caring about other people. Then we have recognition, so the need to feel recognized for the hard work that you are doing. This may be through praise from a manager, this may be through a promotion or earning more money, and this is only a reflection of how well you are doing, because how do you gauge, how do you determine how well you are doing in something? It's like with English. If you start from an A1 level, then you progress all the way up to a C1 level. And there's different criteria that you meet along the way. So you have that recognition at the end. You have that C1 certificate. You're able to say to your employer or to your school, hey, I have a C1 level in English. Here's my certificate. Strength and freedom. So strength, you can think about this in different ways. You can have physical strength. You can have mental strength. Then freedom, I think, is very important. So the ability and the space to express yourself, if that's through your personal identity, what you believe, freedom to practice your religion, freedom to talk about your gender. And having this freedom allows you to have lower stress and feel good about yourself and life. Then we get right to the top. We have self-actualization. What is self-actualization? Well, this is the desire to become the most that one can be. And this could mean different things for different people. It could be philanthropy. So when these other needs have been met, you have food, you have a house, you have a job, you have a family or friends, you feel good about yourself. Now what do you do when you get right to the top? A lot of people may have an existential crisis where they don't know what life is about. And this part of this could be giving back to others. So serving others, helping others that are in need, giving your time. If you're not giving money, you could be giving your time to others. It could be helping homeless people. It could be helping elderly people or children that need help. So you're trying to give back to society. So you've got to that point where your needs have been met, and now you have time to reflect on what life is really about. So this is interesting because a lot of the needs can run at the same time. Even all five can be on the same level, and it depends on where you are in your life. Also, like and subscribe and share this video to anyone that you think would like it. So that's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Try to write in the description below, what do you think about these needs? And also, how does it apply to you in your life? Do you think self-actualization is right at the top? Can you think of anyone that embodies this? Can you think of any celebrities or politicians that you think, wow, that they actually gave back to humanity? Perfect. You did a fantastic job today. Thank you so much. To keep improving your English, watch this video next. Thank you so much. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next lesson. Thank you and bye-bye.